Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday night, so it's time for another Facebook Live. I realized that I completely forgot to post anything on Facebook showing you what we were making tonight. I sent an email out and remembered to put it in there, but completely forgot to put it on Facebook. So hopefully you all will find me. It's been kind of crazy at work. I'm still going into the office. They take our temperature every morning as we go in to make sure we're okay. And now they've started having people help with calls coming in from the call center. So people that are calling the 1-800 number asking about their orders or whatever. And so they've started having some of us help with that. Good. Hey, Betty, good to see you. So this was my first day to do that, which was kind of stressful. I'm sure it will get easier as I get more used to it. But we're doing whatever we can to just keep moving forward. Anyway, I'm glad you joined me tonight. Hopefully we'll get some more coming on here pretty soon. This is what we're making. So this is the Mountain Air bundle that is in the Spring Mini. So it's got this stamp set. And this is one of those two-sided stamps. And I'll show you what I mean when we get to stamping. But this is all on one stamp. So one side is solid and one side has the more detailed images. And then it also has some dies that go with it. So you can cut out your mountains. This cuts out the top of the trees. And then these cut out trees like this. And then you can cut out your cloud or your stamped trees. So it's a nice die set that goes with it. All right. We will get started. So I'm going to do some sponging there, but I'm going to use something a little bit different. So I have a piece, get all my pieces out here, a piece of Whisper White and Blueberry Bushel. Now Blueberry Bushel is one of the colors that will be going away at the end of May. When the annual catalog goes away, so does Blueberry Bushel. And this time I'm going to use a makeup sponge. So that's what this is. It's just a makeup sponge. This is the one I've been using for blue colors. And I think you can probably wash them out, but I've just kind of left this one to be my blue one. I got this from Amazon, but I think I have seen them at Kroger. Now our sponges work well too, but I thought this was kind of fun to use and I wanted to try it and show you how to use it. So I'm just going to get some ink on there, and as with ours, you start off the card so you don't end up with those dark marks like that. And you may still have some like that. You can just keep blending. So this one may look a little more cloudy or something than the one I did. And you just keep going until you get the color that you want. So I wanted this to be darker, so I'll keep going on this for a little bit. Hopefully I'm not shaking the camera too much. I guess I need to see if I can figure out a different way to do this. I know Kay has talked about when she does hers, she puts the camera on a chair and has it sitting next to the table so that when you're moving around on the table, you're not shaking the table when you're doing this or die cutting or anything like that. And just keep going until you feel like you've got enough color on there. And I wanted this to be a good rich blue, and I'm only doing the top part of it. That's getting pretty good. There in the middle. All right, that looks pretty good. We'll stop there. And then I took a sentiment. So this Mountain Air set does not have any sentiments. So I took a sentiment from the Itty Bitty Birthdays, and it's the Let's Celebrate You. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that now, just so that when I'm doing my trees, I know to stay away from it. So I'm just going to stamp that down in the corner. All right. We are done with the Blueberry Bushel. now I've got my mountains, and I've got it mounted so that the detailed part is what I'm going to stamp with. And I used Basic Gray for my mountains. And so I'm going to just ink them up. And I'm going to stamp them. I want them to have sky showing. Now, a trick, so I want to stamp it once and then stamp it again, but if I do that, I have this line here from where it went off the paper. So the best thing to do to keep from having that line is ink it up again, stamp it off, the whole thing, and then you can line it up wherever you want. So I don't want it to be right where the other one was. So now we've got some mountains in the background too. All right, so let me clean that off a little bit because we're going to need this block. And I'm going to get the trees. We're done with the Basic Gray. And I've got Garden Green. And I'm going to get the trees out. And this is in one of those cases where you can put them all right here on the... I just haven't gotten them all out yet. All right, so we'll start the trees with the detailed side down. And like I said, this is Garden Green. And so I'm going to stamp them full strength so that they're going up on the mountains. And then I think I did another over a little bit. You can't really see that. All right, and then what I want to do is fill in some of this down here. So now I'm going to take this, and normally you would clean this, but I don't have my cleaner right here, so we'll just clean it after the fact. Now I want it this way. Oops. Because I want the solid image down. Now I don't have, normally I would have my foam mat underneath of this, and I don't have that with me right now, so we'll see how this works. So I'm going to stamp it off. Yeah, I'm going to have to get my foam mat. Hang on. It's just too big to do without it. Because you can see how it left that all in the middle there. So let's get this, and this will help. So again, we'll ink it up, make sure it's all inked up good. And we'll stamp it off. Looks like it's about time to change this. And then we'll stamp, that still didn't get right there, did it? All right, hang on. See, I didn't have this trouble when I did it before. And then it's not going to line up exactly because you've turned it the other way. But that will put some green in there. And then I think I'll do it one more time. Stamp off. And just put it down a little bit so I get a little more green coming down on the card. There we go. Actually, it looks like I need to do the other too, don't I? So that it's not just solid green. I have some of the detail to it. So, we're making a mess tonight. Let's do that. So we'll ink up our... And I think I'm going to stamp this off just because I don't think I want all that dark there. I just want some of those little dots coming through there. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. That's all we need the green for. And then I decided it would be kind of fun to have my mountains extend off onto my card base. So, take this messy thing off and get my mountains back. Oh, now I am going to have to go clean them. I don't want any Basic Gray in my Seaside Spray. So I've just got my chamois. Just get them cleaned off. And then what I did, so here's my card base. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it and score it. Just like when I'm working on my desk, I end up with a really small space. And then I just kind of laid this on here about where I thought I was going to put it. And this is, like I said, Seaside Spray. So I've got my Seaside Spray ink. I ink up my mountains in that. And then I just kind of looked at where it looked like there was a peak. So that is, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I wanted to go like that maybe. So I just picked that up and then stamped my mountains. And it doesn't matter what happens over here because you're not going to see that. So now let's do the same thing on the other side. Lay that back on there, and so you can kind of make that line up like it's just going off. So kind of line that up maybe with that one. Stamp that. Again, doesn't matter what's going on in the middle because that's going to be covered up. All right. That is all of our stamping. Let me close this up. All right, so I've got a piece of blueberry bushel that I'm going to put my card on, my scene on. Make sure I stay up in the frame for you. So that's going to go on there. And then I put this whole thing up on dimensionals. So I've just got the end of a sheet here of dimensionals. You know, you can cut these, or if you need a whole strip for something, they're great for that. You don't have to cut them apart if you wanted to put a whole strip. Like if you were doing watercolor paper or something like that, then having a whole strip like that would be good to hold it. I have no nails anymore, so this is harder to do. All right. And then we'll put this on here. Kind of so it looks like it's continuing those mountains. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just liked having that little bit on the side. All right, so now we just have our tree. And I'm going to use, you've probably seen other demonstrators do this, but I've just got a sponge and my Tombow liquid glue. And because this paper is trash, it's got blue on both sides now, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up here in the corner because I'm just going to throw this whole thing away when we're done. And I'm going to turn this over. All right, make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to pick up some of that glue and just dab it on the back of this. And because I'm using this sponge, then it doesn't, whoops, you got to be a little bit careful. Then it doesn't, well, I did get a little bit on the front. It doesn't bleed through as much as if you were trying to put it on yourself. And then you just have to hold that down there for a minute. And then I just put this back in a baggie. And I have an old, I don't know what came in here, sequins or something. You can use something like this where you just put your glue in there and that keeps your work surface cleaner. But since I was getting rid of this paper anyway, I decided just to do it right there. And you just put that in there and that keeps it from getting on everything else. And that's, you save it for the next time. All right. Get that messy thing out of the way now. There you go. So there's the card we made tonight and the one I made the other night. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're staying safe. If there's anything I can do to help you have some crafting fun, be sure and let me know. And I will see you next week. Thank you. Good night.